So that is the basis. What Rainer decided and worked out later, what we did until his last film, he decided from Berlin Alexanderplatz on only to shoot one take. That's true. And it's not at all crazy. He was sure what he wanted. And from that film on, he was very sure that his ability to direct depended on people's concentration. So, and that's what I point out in my documentary, what I show very clearly, and what cameraman Xaver Schwarzenberger also confirms. As everybody knew, you only had one chance. Everybody was good. You never could do it again.
Kannst du ruhig draufsteigen dabei, oder? Ich kann schon wieder unten bleiben. So, hoch. So, und dann gibst du ihr einen Kuss. So, zack, dann drehst du sie um. So, dass sie mit dem Rücken zu dir steht. Und damit mit dieser Drehung fahren wir vor bis sehr nah. Und dann macht er so. Das liegt dir dann hier sehr groß drauf. Und dann, du bleibst da unten am Hals.
Das kannst du ruhig machen, Franz. Also unterschrei ich.
Ist gut,
Franz. Franz, das kannst du ruhig machen, Franz. So ein Biss von dir.
Das und dann macht sie die Augen zu und fühlt nur nach. Das ist dann die Vorstellung. Du bist sehr groß. Können wir dir helfen dann ein bisschen? Oder ist es so okay?
Ich würde sagen, wir werden das Kabel weg und ihm helfen.
And if there was a second take, I decided which one I will take, because that is now the real myth. And now I also spoke about it very clearly. When Rainer shot a scene today, I had it coming from the lab tomorrow, and I added it tomorrow from noon to afternoon.
Wow.
So we had every day, not a rough cut, we had to cut, a final cut.
Wow.
And that was the myth, or that was the great thing he said to me just a week before we started shooting. When we went on holidays, he said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I only shoot one take." And I said, "What does that mean exactly?" And then he said, "Well, you have to present the film in the evening. I mean, the scene."
The rough cut, yeah.
There is no rough cut.
Oh, there was no rough cut.
There was no rough cut. It was the cut. It was the final cut. And so, as he knew exactly what he wanted, although he covered up a lot of takes, it's not that he made more. He never made more from one direction. He made a close-up. He made a major shot. He made a lot of sizes and angles. So he was very quick, and his daily average producing of material was at the end an editing hour of maybe sometimes between 6 and 10 minutes, which was at that time outrageous. Nobody ever did that. But he was not in a rush. It was like, you know, he decided in the morning, mainly in the evening, the first scene, what we were shooting, and the next day he gave it to Xaver Schwarzenberger, the first shot. He said, "That's how the lightning will be, and then be prepared when I come," and then it worked like that. So we started in the morning at 10 o'clock, the real shooting, and we mostly finished at 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Because I always had the screening at between 6 and 7, sometimes even earlier.
He would show dailies to his performers and his other people.
Nothing.
He didn't,
There were no dailies.
There were no dailies. Okay.
There were. I tell you,
Yeah,
it was just editing. There were no
Straight to the
dailies,
film. Okay.
and that was for me, who was at that time 22, already have done a few films with him. That was really my training, and from that time on, I really was one of the best editors you can ever be, because you had to think, you had to decide, you had not to ask him.
Wow.
Sometimes he looked at me after a screening and said, "Will you look over it again?" And that was for me the sign I should think about a few changes, and I knew them immediately afterward. So I got so close into his thinking and his directing that there was not a lot of other possibilities than to do it in that way.
Dieb, du Groschenjunge. Für mich bist du sowieso ein Verräter. Verräter bist du. Das weißt.
Nee, Reinhold. Jene kannst du mir glauben. Ich würde da nicht verraten. Verraten würde ich da nie.
Wasser im schwarzen Wald, der liegt so stumm. Furchtbar ruhig liegt ihr. Eure Oberfläche bewegt sich nicht, wenn es im Wald stürmt und die Kiefern ihr Biegen anfangen und die Spinnweben zwischen den Ästen zerreißen und das Splittern losgeht. Der Sturm dringt nicht zu euch herunter. Verflucht ist der Mann, spricht Jeremia, der sich auf Menschen verlässt. Er gleicht einem Verlassenen in der Steppe, er weilt in Dürren auf salzigem Boden, der nicht bewohnt ist. Das Herz ist trügerisch und verderbt. Wer mag es kennen?